Hello. I'm recording this in a hotel room at 10 o'clock at night in Japan. I'm here for Osaka Go Fest, and of course, there's a raid, and I'm going to give you my quick summary of this raid and then get this out for you because the raid's later today. So I could just be wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong on this. And sorry, I'm whispering. Again, I'm in a hotel room in Japan. I won't be really loud. We'll try to get through this as fast as possible. Here's Garchomp. It is the next raid boss. It will have the ground type Terra. Its attack is very high. It's 130. That's not good. Speed is also pretty high at 102. Also not good. There's not much we can do here. While most raid bosses have the hidden ability, it's very likely that Garchomp will have Sandveil, which means all our moves will have a 20% reduction in accuracy. You don't have to worry about sand types, ground types getting defense boost. That's only for rock types, so we just have to worry about this. We can get rid of this pretty easily. It could have rough skin. I think that would make the raid easier if it had rough skin. I don't think it will have rough skin because that would not really matter that much, and it would also add more time to the raid timer. So even though this wouldn't be harder, maybe it would be harder because the raid timer would be wasted with rough skin. So I think it'll have Sandveil. It gets not a lot of status type moves. Let's start there. I thought it got focus energy, but it doesn't. So here it only gets sand attack and sandstorm. It can reapply the sand. And then on the status type moves over on this side, Dragon Shear doesn't work. Helping Hand doesn't work. Stealth Rock, irrelevant. Swords Dance, that's the one you have to worry about. It won't have rest. It literally gets nothing. Maybe Scary Face. That doesn't matter. It's going to outspeed us anyways on everything. This is what we need to worry about, Swords Dance. A turn 0 Swords Dance would be pretty devastating, I think, to pretty much any Pokemon you decide to bring to this raid. So I don't think it will turn 0 Swords Dance, but I do think it will for sure have Swords Dance. I have counters for that. On the move side, really the main thing we have to worry about is Earthquake. It's 100% accuracy. It does 100 damage. It will be stab boosted because Garchomp is a ground type, and because Garchomp is also Terra ground, it will do a lot of damage. There's not really a lot that can prevent that damage besides grass type Pokemon. Garchomp can deal with grass type Pokemon. It gets fire moves. Hold on, let me organize by this. Not a lot of good fire moves, but it does get fire moves. Yeah, they're all pretty bad. It gets Aerial Ace, also kind of bad. The move that would maybe wreck ground types would be Poison Jab. So that's what we're worrying about here. We're worrying about ground type moves and Earthquake. We're worried about Earthquake. That's pretty much it. I'm going to give you some basic counters, and they should work, but we'll start this. We'll start with the first one, which is Kyogre. Kyogre's not faster than Garchomp, which is actually really good. It means that Garchomp will go first based off speed, and it will set sand. It will then mean that Kyogre will go second based off speed, and it will set rain. Rain will override the sand. We get rid of Sandveil right away. So we're good to go. Oh, I'm assuming it will be a turn 0 Sandstorm. I don't know if I said that or not. So I expect Garchomp to do turn 0 Sandstorm. Which actually, no. We would have to reset the rain. I just thought about this. Sorry, it's 10 o'clock at night. Did I say I'm recording in a hotel room in Japan? We can we have to remove the sand with rain, which Kyogre will do. That's fine. Kyogre gets Water Spout, Chilling Water, Surf. If you've seen my old videos, you know how to use Kyogre. If you have full health, you use Water Spout. If you don't, you use Surf. You're going to want to start off with setting rain and then using Chilling Water. Did I mention how much damage Earthquake can do? Yeah, that's pretty unavoidable with a lot of Pokemon. If we Chilling Water twice, or let's just say you have 2 Kyogres on your team, and they each Chilling Water once, now we don't have to worry about Earthquake. It's a 4-hit KO. Let's just say everyone used Chilling Water. You have 4 Kyogres. Now it's a 5-hit KO. See how great that is if we all just use Kyogre? That should be fine. Ideally, I guess the perfect scenario would be 3 Kyogres use Chilling Water, 1 Kyogre sets rain, and then after that, 1 Kyogre heal cheers, and then you pretty much just kind of win the raid at that point, and just keep on top of your Chilling Waters, because even if it Swords Dances and it goes back to -2, you're still pretty good. I think Kyogre works pretty great here. So yeah, Water Spout, Chilling Water, Surf, Rain Dance. I think that's all you need. To make this even better, I don't know why I clicked that button. I'm going to do this in one take, by the way. You could just bring Milotic with Chilling Water, Scald, Reflect, and Life Dew. Let's just go back to Kyogre, and let's just say that a Milotic sets Reflect. Now that Earthquake's instantly a 4-hit KO, and let's just say one Kyogre used Chilling Water. Now that's a 5-hit KO. Ta-da. I think these two work really great together, but let's go back to Milotic. Milotic will burn itself, which will activate Marvel Scale. If I turn off burn, Earthquake is scary. Once Flame Orb activates, its ability will activate, which you will be burned, and now Earthquake does less. Then we set the Reflect, and now Earthquake does even less. I'm really stressing that the main move that matters here is Earthquake. It just does so much damage. So that's how we get around that. Let's say you don't Reflect. Let's say you don't have let's just say you're healthy. But because we have Scald, we have a 30% chance to burn, and we will be doing super effective damage. And now Earthquake is a 4-hit KO. Now we set the Reflect. Earthquake is an 8-hit KO, and now we use Chilling Water. And now Earthquake is the worst move possible that it can do. So that's how good Milotic can be here as a support. Milotic would get Chilling Water, Scald, Reflect, and Life Dew. You would probably open up with a Reflect, and then maybe Chilling Water once, and then just spam Scald until you get burned. Obviously, you're going to Life Dew to make sure things are healthy. So that's how you play Milotic in a nutshell. Oh, I didn't go over EVs. Sorry. Kyogre is really easy. 252 HP, 252 special attack, 4 special defense. It is possible that Garchomp could have some special attacks. I really doubt it. But where else are you going to put the 4? Special defense is fine. Milotic is just a support Pokemon. You want Marvel Scale, if I didn't already say that. Yeah, you don't, I guess you could put it in special attack, but it's 10 p.m. in a Japanese hotel, and I'm going crazy because I'm recommending Meganium. This is weird. I didn't think I would ever recommend Meganium, but here we are. Okay, so Meganium actually takes Earthquake really well. That's because grass resists ground. It's all good. I got there. Here's the cool thing about Meganium. It gets both Light Screen and Reflect. So that means that it would be able to survive a Fire Blast, which I calculated right here. It can survive 3 Fire Blasts, but if we set a Reflect or a Light Screen up, now it can survive 5 Fire Blast, which is very good. Going back to the Earthquake problem, it survives Earthquake with a 1.1% chance for a 4-hit KO. That's very good. Once we set the Reflect for the team, now it's an 8-hit KO, which is great. I did bring up a problem. One would be Aerial Ace. That's not a problem. The other problem would be Poison Jab. But without the Reflect, 3-hit KO. With the Reflect, 5-hit KO. 5-hit KO, very good for raids. So you get double screens. You're going to want to run Light Clay. The ability is Overgrow. The reason you want Overgrow is because when you have less health, you will do more damage. And if you have less health and you're doing more damage when you're Giga Draining, you're going to get more health back. The other ability is pretty useless, so you don't need that. And then Giga Drain to get health back. I don't think Meganium is going to hit very hard because it's Meganium, but it's like a middle ground of like good support and can do decent damage. I do sincerely think 4 Meganiums could win. It would probably just be really slow. If you do not need Light Screen, let's just say there's no special attacks, replace Light Screen for Grassy Terrain. I'll get to that in a second on our last Pokemon, because I'm only building 4 because it's 10 p.m. in Japan, and I'm recording this video. What was the other thing? Oh, you get Charm. Charm's really great, too. If Charm is a -2 on attack, it does not work when Shield is up. So I would probably Reflect and then I would Charm, and then I would Giga Drain. That's pretty much how you're going to play Meganium. Charm does not work when the shield is up. So I doubt Garchomp will start with a shield because Metagross started with a shield, so I don't think they're going to do that twice in a row. That leads us to our final Pokemon, which you've known the entire time because I have all 4 Pokemon on the side. That's going to be Venusaur. Did I remind you guys that Earthquake does a lot of damage? Because it does. It does 66%, up to 66% damage on Venusaur, which is a 2-hit KO. I hate recommending any Pokemon that gets 2-hit KO, but there's not really a way to avoid this Earthquake situation, except there is a way to avoid this Earthquake situation. When you set something called Grassy Terrain, it reduces the damage of Earthquake. Not only that, is it makes all grass-type moves stronger by 30%. So even Kyogre and Milotic, I'm just going to show you, even Kyogre and Milotic will take less damage from Grassy Terrain. See how all these Pokemon are team players? Okay, so you can set Grassy Terrain with Earthquake. You can set Grassy Terrain to reduce the damage of Earthquake. You also get Charm. That's the same problem. That's the same thing that Meganium gets. And look at that. That's fantastic. So even if you had multiple Venusaurs, one could Charm, one could Grassy Terrain, and now you're in this great situation where Earthquake is a 7-hit KO, and that doesn't even count a Reflect or a Light Screen. Now you have a Reflect, and now it's the worst move ever. That would be like a 12-hit KO right there. The other thing that Venusaur can do, also the ability you're going to do is Overgrow, because again, I just explained this on Meganium. The other thing that Venusaur can do is it can Acid Spray, which means this move, Giga Drain, will do more damage. If we do 3 Acid Sprays, now we're doing, I don't even know the math on that. We're doing 4 times the amount of damage with Giga Drain, which means we're getting health back. This would apply to Meganium. This would apply to Milotic. This would apply to Kyogre. So I think all 4 of these Pokemon work really well together. But I do think the start of the raid will be really rough because of Earthquake. So that means everyone needs to do a support move. If you're playing Kyogre, you're probably Chilling Water and or setting Rain Dance. If you're playing Milotic, you are probably Chilling Water or setting Reflect. If you're Venusaur, you're probably just going to open up with Grassy Terrain or Charm. And if you're Meganium, you're probably going to open up with Reflect and or Charm and or Grassy Terrain, because you probably won't need Light Screen at all. Venusaur's EVs are the most complicated. It's 140 HP, that's 14 vitamins, 192 defense, which actually doesn't give you a jump point. I'm sorry. Special attack is 176, which does give you a jump point. So 140, 192, 76, you're going to do Modest. Meganium, 200 HP, 176 defense, 132 special attack. Milotic, very easy, 252 HP, 252 defense, 4 special attack, and then Kyogre, just 250. The Kyogre's always the same. You never change this Kyogre spread. That's just what it is. Shell Bell on Kyogre, Flame Orb on Milotic, Light Clay on Meganium, and then Terrain Extender on Venusaur. The reason you're doing Terrain Extender is because you're getting 8 turns of reducing damage from Earthquake instead of 5, which matters because, like I said, the start of this raid is going to be really rough, I think, for no matter what Pokemon you bring. That's the video. Thank you for watching. I will be streaming more in Japan if you want to come over to Twitch. I will not be streaming this because I didn't bring my capture card for my Switch. But here's your video. I hope you like it. I hope I'm right. I hope some of these Pokemon are helpful. Feel free to change the held items to what is needed. Oh, final message, because people forget this. If for some reason Garchomp has Brick Break, one, that would be very cruel from Game Freak to do, but that would mean Reflect and Light Screen would be useless. So don't use those if it has Brick Break. That means if you're playing Meganium, you're going to just use Charm more often and or Grassy Terrain. If you're playing Milotic, put Rain Dance, I guess, on that for Water-type Pokemon to do more damage. That's probably the solution to those things. I think all 4 of these work together, and I think a combination of those 4 should work just fine. Okay, thank you for watching. Please leave a comment of what time I recorded this and where I recorded this so I know you made it to the end. All right, love you guys. Goodbye.